great public speaker. I want to start by thanking law enforcement, those who remain among law enforcement who are committed to the ideal of service and respect. With all that I have been through, I haven't lost the faith, no other option, because strong communities are built on strong police-community relationships. Make no mistake, I know as well as anyone how deeply rooted the problem of corruption is here, how great the need for reform is, starting at the top. We need new leadership in this court, in the sheriff's office, in the DA's office. I'm not new here. This isn't my first stock show. I've lived here in Tarrant County some 35 years or so. Went to Nolan. Judge O'Hare and I both graduated from UT. You defected and went to SMU. I stayed for a few degrees at UT. I taught public school for nearly 20 years, worked in refugee resettlement, volunteered in the community, spoken at podiums like this countless times. I even ran for office. I know this story's me, but that's the story I know. And if the gross injustice I suffered can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. I can provide firsthand knowledge of the conditions and the culture in our jail, a dirty, dangerous, deplorable place. Because I've been there twice. Quick story of 2 arrests. First was when I was a teenager in the mid-'80s, dabbling in juvenile delinquency. The arrest was the best thing that could have happened to me. Felony theft because the value of the radar detectors was such. Arrested at night, out the next morning, more than fair terms of a deferred adjudication. Never wanted to go back, but no complaints about treatment. I was a threat to the public. The arrest was good police work that put my life back on track. Second arrest was last July, arrested for interference with public duties, aka filming the police. But the real reason was what you're seeing right now. Tell the truth, demand transparency and accountability, expose criminal behavior by those with the power, and you risk the most vindictive retaliation imaginable. I can't begin to describe how an arrest impacts one's life. There is no innocent before guilty here. The weaponization of the justice system is right here. I was held for 2 days, subject to mild torture, feared for my safety, and was appalled at every moment. The conditions and the culture, again, deplorable. And remember, no one who's just been arrested has been found guilty. They haven't had their day in court. My 2 days in court ended Thursday with 2 not guilty verdicts returned within 30 minutes or so. The DA's office put all effort into convicting me of a Class B misdemeanor. That's what our top prosecutors, Bill Vassar, is doing these days, targeting political prisoners. But the jury saw him for what he is, a condescending con man, a snake oil salesman in a slick suit. But more than anything, they saw the truth in that courtroom. Instead of being a perpetrator, a criminal, I was a victim, as the body camera showed that I was repeatedly assaulted by Officer Matlack of the Benbrook Police Department. So I'm here to demand that Officer Matlack be charged with those for assault. I'm here to tell you that the window of opportunity for addressing the harm I've suffered is closing soon. I seek justice for myself because I know there are countless who don't have that opportunity.
Following Mr. B.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
On January 29th, jury selection in my trial, my criminal trial, for interference with public duties wrapped up. As a defendant, I was pleased with the selection. I suspect, I can't speak for Prosecutor Bill Vassar, but I suspect he did not share my sentiment. On January 30th at 3:47 a.m., I received both a text and an email telling me that my trial had been rescheduled. Of course, I showed up, and later that day, a jury took less than 30 minutes to find me not guilty of the baseless, politically motivated charges against me. I'll skip the story of the trial and all, but I'll say that this error, the sending me a text and email telling me it's been rescheduled 3:47 in the morning, that could have resulted in more persecution of me. Could have resulted, had I not shown up, in a warrant for my arrest. It could have furthered the proceedings. Could have been a rescheduled trial, another jury selection. So this is not a rhetorical question. Why did this happen? Why did I get an email and a text at 3:47 in the morning of a trial telling me it's been rescheduled? Don't show up. Who's responsible? Who's going to take responsibility? Do these errors happen frequently? Or is this just a glitch that only happens to a political prisoner? They're not rhetorical questions. Do you have answers? I know you can't engage in an exchange with me, but you can ask someone else right now to answer why they're aware of it. This isn't new information for our DA. I'll sit down and let you respond.
Before you do, tell me the mistake again. Explain the mistake. You got the text message saying it was canceled and it wasn't canceled? Is that the question?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, Judge O'Hare.
Okay. And who, okay, thank you.
Yep.
You can be seated. You said you want to be seated? You can be.
You've asked a question. Now
Yeah,
I'll
you
ask
answered
you, will you answer the questions that I have? I know we don't have an exchange right now,
Yeah.
but you've asked me a question. Will you ask that question to the DA right now? Will we put it on public record?
Well, I was planning on asking someone, yes, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Who runs this?
I believe the criminal court judiciary runs this system.
Okay.
So I've already made a note that we'll have Mr. Stallings check in with the judiciary on this to see if we can find out independently what's going on here.
Okay. When was this? You don't have to go to the mic.
January 30th at 3:47 in the morning.
Of this year?
Of this
Yeah,
year. I can
okay.
have you show them to you right now.
I'll take your word for it. Okay, yeah, I'd like to know who exactly sends that, how that works, who's in charge of it. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we did have a motion and a second on this item, right? All right, any further discussion on the renewal? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please cast your vote. Or if you're opposed, I guess do that too. Okay, that passes unanimously. Now we go to L1. L1, also from consent, is to receive and file the 2024 racial profiling data from the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office. I will move to receive and file.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion from the court? Okay, would you like to speak?
If y'all would like me to. Y'all have the report in front of you. If you have any questions, I can certainly answer, or I can give just an overview of it as well. So y'all prefer.
Anybody have any questions? Okay. If you want to give an overview, you can, but nobody has any questions at this point. We've read it.
Okay.
Okay. We do have one speaker on this. I believe it's one. Bishop Kirkland. Okay. All right. So we have a motion and a second to receive and file. Any further discussion?